Third type of plate boundary that we need to know about is a conservative plate boundary. Now here's a line, I'm going to draw that line on there, and that's actually going to be our plate boundary, so I'm just going to label that as our plate boundary. Okay, now remember, at a conservative plate boundary there's two plates that are moving side by side each other, okay, so they're kind of moving past each other a little bit like that. Okay, now these particular types of plates are continental plates, so I'm going to label up the continental plates on the diagram. Okay, good. Now we don't see any volcanoes at this particular plate boundary because there's no magma rising, it is just the two plates moving side by side, but occasionally they can become locked, and as they lock we get a building up of pressure, and because we get a building up of pressure we tend to get earthquakes. Now the type of earthquake that we get at this particular plate boundary tends to be really shallow, which means that it causes lots and lots of damage, and they're normally quite high up on the Richter scale and Mercalli scale, which we'll learn a little bit more about in the lessons to come. A good example of this type of plate boundary is the fault line at San Andreas, or the San Andreas fault, which you've probably heard before. Excuse my spelling it, San Andreas. Okay, and also most of California is prone to these sorts of earthquakes.